First up, I'd like to introduce you to Kristen Bowen. Kristen leads the development of content strategy and partnerships for YouTube in Australia and New Zealand. She's been with YouTube since 2007, so one of the first employees in the San Bruno, California headquarters, so she knows it inside out. And for the past couple of years, she was managing partnerships with UK television broadcasts at Google UK. So please welcome Kristen.
Thank you, Jamie. Perfect, thanks. Hi guys, how's it going? All right, cool, we got a loud crowd. So if you guys have questions, I'll try to save them for the end, jot down notes or whatever. If it's really a burning question, you can stop me as I go, but probably best to save it for the end. So I'm going to talk to you guys about the new channels that we've just released and give you a little bit of background on the strategy behind that and YouTube strategy overall. And our main goal is for people to spend more time on YouTube. Pretty simply, we want them to think, when I'm bored, I go to YouTube. And we made some big changes to accomplish this recently. Starting last year when we launched the guide, the new channels that we're rolling out now, and focusing on watch time rather than views. So I'm excited to announce the second phase of the channelization of YouTube, and I'm going to give you guys some insight into our strategy, recap the changes we've made, and tell you all about what's coming next. So these are sort of the three topics that we're going to cover. But first, just to start, I just want to explain to you guys how people are really discovering videos on YouTube today. This may be news for some of you, may make sense to a lot of you. But basically, half of the visits on YouTube start with a visit to the watch page. Someone sends you a link, you see something on Facebook, and from there you basically end up watching more and more videos in the related right-hand section. That's the sort of cascading blue lines on the graph there. The other half start on the home page, and then people go and perform a search. So YouTube is actually the second biggest search engine in the world after Google. And from there, users enter the related video and watch. So the number of people who start with a channel or their subscriptions is too small to even show up on this graph right here. And that's something we want to change. And the reason is, when we dug into the data, we found that people who start their session watching content from their subscriptions end up watching a lot more video on average per day than any other way that people start. Twice as much as those who discover videos through search. And in fact, subscribers watch almost twice as much as non-subscribers, so they're really your most valuable audience as a channel owner. And interestingly, the more people visit YouTube, the more that they watch. So in addition to the insight that subscribers are really key for this, the main factor besides that we're looking at is how people are physically accessing your content. Our viewers are expanding beyond the desktop, and that's happening really fast. This year, we announced that globally 25% of our views is happening on a mobile device. And in Australia, if you look at your YouTube analytics, you'll probably see that number is higher. It's about 30%. And in a leading indicator country like Korea, more than 50% of our views are happening on mobile. And I've seen some content owners, some partners that have 90%. So not only is mobile the future, but it's here and it's coming faster than we even thought. And we know that tablets and TVs are going to come soon after that. So we're no longer thinking of YouTube as a website, but as a service that goes across all of these different devices. And what that means is all of our features need to be platform agnostic and work seamlessly no matter where somebody is watching a video. So what our goals are: we want viewers to come to YouTube daily from any connected device. And how we want to do that, our strategy is to get viewers to subscribe to your channels and get subscribers to return often to watch your videos, because as we've seen, subscribers are really the most valuable audience on YouTube. So we started executing on this in November 2011 when we introduced the channel templates that you're probably using now and channel feeds. So channel templates made channels a lot more consistent. Before we rolled these out, every channel was wildly different. If users got there at all, they were pretty confused. What is this page? It looks different from a watch page. I don't know where I am. I don't know how to get back. And then the feed provided a new way of consuming content when you were subscribed. And something that you might not be as aware of is that we basically switched the currency of YouTube, the main metric that we pay attention to, from views to watch time. And this is really important because this is what all of our algorithms are now based on. So when getting to the top of search and related is all based on watch time rather than views. And what this means for you is if your video causes a viewer to spend longer on YouTube, that means that your video will rank higher in terms of your watch time score and get bumped to the top. If your video causes someone to leave YouTube, it means that your watch time score decreases. So that's something that you guys should really be thinking about in terms of leading users to their next video, which you might be doing already with annotations and playlists. How many of you guys are familiar with this series playlist feature? A couple of you, that's great. So this is basically a playlist that every time you watch a video from within that playlist, it'll show up on the right-hand side at the very, very top above any other related videos, and everything will just play automatically. So that's a really, really good way to make sure you're extending watch time scores. So in December 2012, just a few months ago, we introduced the homepage guide on the left-hand side. So now what users can do is basically really easily pin channels that they're subscribed to into their guide and then have the subscriber feed appear in the middle of the page. And since then, we've seen some really promising results. Over the past year, the number of daily subscriptions added has doubled, which is great. That's what we want. We're excited to share with you the next phase of how we're evolving the site. And by far the most significant change we're making is to bring the guide to every single page of the site. So right now it's just on the home page. Once you go to a watch page, it is doing this because we've launched it. But before that, it didn't follow you. And so it wasn't easy to change the channel. But now, no matter where you are on the site, if you're on search, if you're on watch, you'll be able to change to one of the channels that you're subscribed to, ideally one of your channels. So your subscribers are always one click away, and we're trying to get them to come back with these unwatched counters. So you can see that Vice has 5 unwatched videos that this person has subscribed to. So channels are basically going to be a lot more integrated to the whole UX of the site. So let's look at what's new for your channels. Now, on the site today, the main problem is that nobody goes to channels. We saw from the beginning that people really are just going to watch pages, or they're going to home or search. And even when people subscribe, they don't go to your channel as you've programmed it. They basically just go to the home page and consume the content that they're subscribed to from the feed. So that's a real bummer for you guys, because you've spent all this time building beautiful banners and organizing your content, and nobody's consuming it or taking advantage of that. So when a viewer clicks on your channel in the guide, it just loads it the channel feed rather than the whole channel. So what we're changing is that when subscribers click on your channel from the guide, from that left-hand side, it'll load in the whole channel and all of the branding as you've programmed it and as you want them to consume your content. So it gives you a lot more control over what your subscribers are going to see. So I'll walk you through some of the additional features. Some of you guys might already have played around with these because we've launched an opt-in beta on Friday. But for those of you that haven't, or if you need more information, hopefully this is helpful. So the first thing is sort of the topmost module, which we call the welcome module. And we basically have 2 modes. For subscribed users, we really want to make it effective in helping them figure out what's new and what we think that they should watch next. So subscribed viewers will see a recommendation of what they should watch next based on kind of what they've already watched on your channel. So if they left off on episode 3, we'll show them episode 4. They'll also see a snapshot of what's new and videos that they've recently watched in case they wanted to go back and share them with people. And for unsubscribed viewers, this area is going to be replaced by a trailer video. So the purpose of this video is basically to help users who are unfamiliar with your channel learn what it's all about and kind of hook them to subscribe. So you can think about it as an ad for your channel. And I'll show you a good example of this in a few minutes. So below the welcome module is an area, what we're calling sections, where you can basically showcase all the types of content in your channel however you like using this feature. It's basically for merchandising and packaging your content in the ways that you want viewers to experience it. So, here's an example of the Vice's documentaries section. They're using the vertical layout so that there's more space for metadata. And basically, each of these layouts is a kind of a teaser for the full content set. And when you click on the title, like documentaries, it'll take you to view all of the content in that section. And you can create a section out of playlists, out of videos, out of other channels that you might want to feature. So it's a really kind of it builds on the template concept by having it be more flexible. So whereas templates were very rigid, it's sort of, you have to choose between these three. This way you can, it still makes sense for users because it's consistent. They'll understand what a section is, but you have the flexibility in designing it or calling it whatever you want to. It doesn't just have to be recent uploads, although that could be one. So in addition to our new programming tools, you may have noticed that we're making some changes to the branding, and there's a really good reason for this. I mentioned that 1 in 4 views is happening on mobile. And another 1 in 4 views happens on a screen that's more than 1,400 pixels wide. So how do we make sure that your brand works well on any screen size? It's actually a really, really big challenge because the lines between different devices are blurring. You can't just have a mobile setting, a tablet setting, a TV setting. Every screen size is different. So there's no way to have a pixel perfect design. And what that means is two things basically. Whatever imagery you're using to represent your brand has to be able to scale to every single device. And in order to do that, it has to be simple. Right now, people are using branding spaces to do a lot of things. Branding spaces can't do everything. So to show you what I'm talking about, let's take a look at today's channel branding, unless you've opted into the new branding. So there's a good reason that it only appears on the desktop. It doesn't scale. The clickable banner in particular, so you know when you put clickable links using what we call the image map feature of your banner. So if we use this same banner on mobile, the navigation would be really hard to see and basically unusable. And on TV, it would be gigantic and you wouldn't be able to click on any of the links either. So we really need simplicity. Now, we've paid a lot of attention to what our partners are doing with the banner. And basically, we analyzed the most clicked banners and found some really key common uses, such as promoting other channels, telling people what your schedule is and when new shows are going to come out, linking to other social networks or sites, and encouraging users to subscribe. So we know these features are really important, and what we're trying to do is now bake them into the product so that the branding is free to just be branding. And the other benefit of baking it into a consistent place is that this is a lot easier for users to understand and consistent, and so they don't have to go looking around on a channel for where's the schedule, where's the link to Twitter. It's always in the same place on every channel. In addition to supporting these features as channel features, we also want to incorporate them into the player. Because as you guys know, still a lot of people are starting with a video. They're not actually going to the channel to see your brand. And in mobile, most users are in full screen mode, so in-video branding becomes really important. So we recently launched this feature called in-video programming, which is basically most people are using as a little logo or avatar that they can have within their video. As a logo or watermark. And the beauty of adding this through YouTube and not actually burning it into the video is that you can change it if you change your brand down the line. You don't have to delete your videos and then lose all your view counts. So the next phase of this feature is the ability to hover over it and have a little hover card come up about what with the channel banner and the image and a little bit more info about the channel. And when you click on it, it'll take you to the channel. So this is another feature in the pipeline, a 3 to 5 second branding bumper at the beginning of the video, which again can be changed out and applied to all your videos if you do update your branding again. And then the other one, some of you guys might be using this now, is an in-video programming feature where you can cross-promote other videos within your video. This is one of the biggest requests we hear from partners, and we hope that this goes some way in making it a lot more scalable rather than adding individual annotations. Right now you can basically leverage all your views to promote one particular video that you really want to push from within that video. So with these top uses supported as core channel and player features, our branding is free to just be branding. We don't have to have it try to do everything. And this means that we can use the same asset anywhere. So I talked about how a lot of people are watching on really wide monitors. We're going to be making the site flexible width. So basically we get more and more of your content above the fold, which means that more people are going to be clicking on your videos and watching more of your content. And we can also take this same branding and scale it down to be shown in these hover cards. So, we're going to be showing the channel in a lot more places on the site, and as you guys probably have noticed, it's really hard to see what the channel's about from that tiny little avatar. So basically now when you hover over that, it'll bring up your full branding and a little snippet of what your channel's about. And then we can also use it to be scaled on tablets, on mobile, and on TV. And I think that the key is it's simple. Another kind of common complaint we get from people is they really want to make these big, amazing banners with all these crazy links, and they don't know how, and they have to hire a designer or something. Now it's pretty easy to use. You basically just select an image, make sure that it's going to look okay with however it gets cropped on these different devices, and off you go. So hopefully you guys have a better understanding of who our most valuable viewers are and how we're trying to get the rest of everybody on YouTube to use the site and the service in a similar way. We've also shared some of our tactics for getting channels in front of people to subscribe and then coming back because of those subs. So here's one example of somebody that's opted into the new design. I'll show you guys a live example as well in just a second. But basically some of the key takeaways: make sure you're keeping watch time at the forefront of your mind. It's not just about views. Get a new channel banner branding going, create your sections and a channel trailer, and always remember to direct viewers to subscribe if you're not already doing that. So the timeline for this, it has started. You can opt in by going to youtube.com/onechannel, one like O-N-E, channel, spelled out. You just scroll down to the very bottom of the page and then click opt in. And you'll have until the end of May to move everything over before we kind of go to full launch. So I'm going to see if I can do this. Exit. No. Oh, thank you. Okay, so here's an example of Mystery Guitar Man. Do you guys know Mystery Guitar Man? Yeah, he's awesome. So he's opted into the new design, and you can see some of his shelves. He has latest videos, a specific name of a series, his top 10, and then he's gone with the vertical layout with some of his featured playlists, music with random objects. And when you actually make a shelf a playlist, when you use a playlist to make a shelf, rather, you can actually, let's see if this, oh, it's not working. But basically, there's a little button that pops up that says play all, so people can just play the whole thing from within there. But I want to show you guys his channel trailer, because I think it's a really perfect, concise example.
Hi, my name is Joe Penna. Let me share a little bit of what I do on my Mystery Guitar Man channel. I started out making videos with random objects, and then I started making some videos with animation and some other kinds of stop motion. It's fun doing things with clones and other kind of video tricks too. I really like working with friends of mine, and sometimes even with my audience, with you guys. And if you're wondering what the big mystery is, I have a completely different video every single Thursday, so make sure you subscribe and see what I do next.